Now let's go to Michael Page. Big win for him on Saturday against Paul Daley. The grudge match has been settled. There he is in his car with the shades on. His future is so bright, he's got to wear shades. MVP, how are you?
I'm doing good. Just enjoying the sun right now.
Yes, I feel bad that we're bothering you. I think you're in a very nice locale, so I'm sorry for all the changing of the times, but thank you very much, as always, for being patient and for joining us. Congratulations on the win. So the fight has been, a hot topic because I think our expectations were so high. The buildup was so great. The feud was so great that we expected like the greatest thing of all time. Now that you're a couple days removed, what do you think of the fight?
Yeah, it was very frustrating. For myself, one, I performed horribly in terms of just the other areas of my game, and it was a shame I wasn't able to demonstrate things the way I wanted to. I felt seconds behind in my takedown defense, in my grappling. I just felt very blurry in that area, but I didn't expect to have that fight at all. He claimed to be one of the best stand-up fighters in the game and can knock out anybody that decides to stand with him, and he turned into a wrestler. And I think that's almost a compliment to my abilities and my stand-up. So, yeah, either way, I did say at the beginning the W is the most important thing, and even if I have to crawl across the finishing line, the W is the most important thing, and moving on and advancing in this competition is definitely the most important thing. So, and that's what I did.
So were you feeling off in the locker room or in the fight itself? Like, did you have a feeling that you might feel off?
Yeah, I don't know. It just mentally just wasn't necessarily the same, as sharp as I would normally feel. I wasn't feeling as confident as I would normally feel. I just thought it was just because of just how anxious I was to actually just get in the cage. But yeah, I felt it when things started happening the wrong way in terms of the wrestling. I really did feel, like I said, just felt steps behind. I was even cussing myself during as things was happening. He took me down a couple of times, and as he was taking me down, I was cursing myself. I could see this stuff and just wasn't responding to it. But again, I don't know. I'm not going to blame. I feel like he came in with a very tactical, very safe game plan. I think he just wanted to sneak a victory, and it worked against him.
The way you were feeling, obviously, last week we talked about the passing of your father, and your manager, Adi Atara, was on the show a little earlier and said how much respect he has for you for being able to overcome that tragedy in your life and be able to focus on this fight and be committed to the fight. Now, in hindsight, do you feel like what you experienced last month played into how you were feeling in this fight?
Yeah, 100%. It was just hard to be. Even afterwards, I was very emotional, just about the journey. I really had to thank everybody because it took. I'm lucky. I'm lucky enough to have a lot of support around me and a lot of people that really care about my success. And that support, I don't believe I would be able to make it in this sport without these people around me, and especially after losing my dad, because, like I said, he's the person that allowed me to do this. The only reason I have the abilities that I have is because of him. So it's been very, very, very difficult. And yeah, I think it did affect my performance, but I don't like to use it as an excuse at the same time. The fact is, he came in with a very good game plan. I think he was the best Paul Daley I've seen in a long time. But at the same time, he went with plan B, and I said that before. I feel like he's gonna play a very different game when he got in there. I didn't expect it to be that different, but he is very scared of me and my stand-up and just who I'm about, and it showed in how he tried to win this fight.
When you were game planning for the fight, when you were envisioning how it might go down, did the thought of him using his wrestling as much as he did ever cross your mind? Because it was interesting. I don't know if you saw, but Douglas Lima, right before the fight happened, he was on the desk with Jay Glazer and Chael and Josh Thompson. He actually predicted that he would try to shoot on you early, and they all kind of laughed at him. His prediction ended up being true. Did you think that there was a chance that he would go that route?
Well, my coach did actually say he expects him to, use a couple of takedowns, just not as drastically as he did. He really, even when he got to the floor, I feel like one of the reasons why he burnt out so quickly is because even when he was on the floor, he was even trying too hard to land real damaging shots. He was just trying to hold me down and let the time burn down. And every time we stood up, I could see it in his posture how he was walking back to his corner. He was getting more and more tired, and even my coach was saying he's getting tired. Again, my coach was telling me from the beginning, he's like, okay, look, round one, yes, okay, we got that round. But then he started to use the takedowns, and he said, yep, you lost this round. Yep, you lost the next round. You need to step up now. He said, yep, it's two apiece. It's two apiece. It's going into this round. You need to start faster. You need to land more. I was being very gun shy, and maybe it was because he was, throwing the takedowns, and I was trying to predict his shot, and using counter jump knees and things like that, and I should have just continued to fight the way I'd normally fight. But again, I just felt it was just hard for me to think. Normally this is just automatic, and it was just very difficult. I did feel very blurry during that fight. Again, because how tired he got in that fifth round, he made a mistake. I capitalized on it, took his back, I started beating him up, and he never really kind of regained after that point, and that was it, really.
What do you make of his comments afterwards about Bellator trying to protect their investment, and they built up your story so much, so that's why you won the fight? Have you seen what he said afterwards, and if so, what do you make of it?
Again, he's gonna have an excuse. The fact is, why did you not just go in there and be yourself? Why did you not go in and go plan A and actually go strike for strike? Let's see who actually had the best stand-up in the mixed martial arts world. So all the complaints aside, it's your own fault. You kind of have to blame yourself to not actually getting this victory. I think it was quite clear. I watched the fight back. Like I said, I made stupid amounts of mistakes, like horrible mistakes, and then even watching them back, it was hard. I was so pissed off, but either way, you yourself, let this fight go.
So you say that you were pissed off, that you made some big mistakes. Is this one of the fights that you've had in Bellator that you're least proud of? That we didn't really see the full MVP in this fight?
Yeah, 100. Obviously, there's quite a high expectation for me because of the way I tend to finish fights and the way I can fight. So I'm not necessarily worried about that, and at the same time, I am proud of myself. It was a difficult fight. It was a tough fight. I'm proud of myself to be able to keep grinding, even when I wasn't feeling at my sharpest. To keep grinding, keep hustling, right the way through, and get back up every single round, still feeling confident. A lot of people, they question my fitness, and I feel like, people can see how tired he was in comparison to myself. I was still in the fight after 5 rounds, and he wasn't. And it did show. My abilities in some areas did show, but just in other areas, just it looked horrible, and that's what I'm the most disappointed at.
Yeah, that was the first time you went 5-minute rounds, right?
Yeah, 100%. And this is why I kind of say there's certain things I can be proud about.
Right. Afterwards, did you guys talk? Did you squash the beef?
I actually haven't seen him again.
Okay.
And as I said to yourself before the show, there's no way this beef is going to end. I have zero respect for that man, even now. In fact, probably more so now, because all that talk about you being able to, going to knock me out, it might have been a tactic, but I just feel stupid that you've just shown the world that you have to fear my stand-up. So at the same time, thank you, but yeah, I have zero respect for you now.
Okay, you think it's inevitable you guys will fight again?
Potentially. I said this before, actually. I said the only reason why I may give him another chance is purely because I feel like the fight should have happened in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
And because of how close the fight was now, there's obviously another reason for it to be, for it to happen again, potentially. But it just depends on where our paths go. Where does he go from here? Who does he fight now? The most I can see at the moment is maybe a rematch with Larkin. And I feel like Larkin will, is not going to make that same mistake again. He was winning the fight right the way through until, he got caught, which is always a risk with Paul Daley, but I don't think he'll make that mistake again. And then again, where do you go from there? And if I continue, I've got a very difficult opponent now in Douglas Lima. If I'm able to overcome that and move on, and then again overcome the last obstacle, the last wall, and become a champion, I don't feel you deserve to have a rematch.
I don't know how much you read the stuff, but it seems like everyone online saying like, oh, okay. And it's funny because it seems to happen with every step. All right, now he got over the Daley hump. Now watch what Lima's going to do to him. Now he's going to expose him. Now he's going to get right. You see that as well?
But it's exactly what I had said before. And I can't remember if I said it on your show, but I had spoken to somebody and I had said exactly the same thing. I was like, once I get past Paul Daley, there's going to be a reason as to why I beat Paul Daley. Oh, he wasn't in his prime, but look what Douglas Lima is going to do to him next. If I was to overcome Douglas Lima, then they're going to be like, yeah, well, now it's going to be a real test for him because, Douglas, there's always going to be some sort of excuse. The fact is, yes, Douglas Lima is an amazing athlete. And aside of just my development, he's always going to be a difficult task. But, he's not unbeaten. People have answered that question with him before. So it's definitely possible. So I'm just looking forward to the challenge. And like I said, I'm focusing on my own development. It's not about the people. It's not about anybody else. They're going to enjoy They're going to enjoy loving me, or they're going to enjoy hating me. Either way, they're going to watch, and I'm just going to enjoy being myself and enjoy my own journey.
And last thing for you, Michael, are you okay with the relatively quick turnaround? I mean, they announced this fight, the Lima fight, even before your fight went down. Is that okay with you?
Obviously, we was told we was up to date with stuff before it actually went out.
Okay.
I'm okay with it because it means I can be more active.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm not okay with is now that I'm on holiday, I'm gonna have to start training while I'm out here.
That's right. Well, you have a little less than 3 months, so it's not a month turnaround. But I was curious about that because sometimes you plan these things, someone can get hurt in a fight, but in the end, it seems like you did not get hurt in the fight. You walk away with the victory. You move on in the tournament, one step closer to that title, and also that $1 million from 50 Cent. And by the way, 50 Cent, I mean, can you act like you want to be there? I felt like he just kind of walked in there, he gave you the thing, and then just like be a little excited. 50 Cent, really? Did you feel the same? I felt like he wasn't showing you the love.
A few people had said that, but I was more focused on myself. I was in my own mind at that time, and very disappointed with certain aspects of myself. But then at the end of the day, like I said, whether I had to crawl through that finishing line, I was going to get there, and I said that to everybody, and I've done that now. So it's just on to the next.
Congratulations, Michael. Appreciate you doing this. Congrats on the big win. And I'm looking forward to seeing what you do next in the tournament against Douglas Lima, May 11th in Rosemont, Illinois, just outside of Chicago. Thanks so much, MVP. Congrats.
Oh, yeah. No problem, man. Thank you for having me again. Take care.
All right, there he is, the one and only Michael Venom Page. Big win for him against Paul Daley. Something tells me at some point in their careers we may see them again. For now, though, he moves on in the tournament. We'll see what's next for Paul Daley.